Om Ajnanaatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rushabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are in Canto 3, Chapter 4, text number 9. The context here is Vidura gets to meet Uddhava. By meeting Uddhava, Vidura gets into ecstasy and then showers of it, tons of questions. And then because of those questions, Uddhava just gets transported to the spiritual world. And he comes back for the sake of offering the service to Vidura, and he goes on and on about Krishna. And now he's coming to the his meeting, and he's coming to his meeting with Krishna, and then Krishna's instructions to him, Uddhava Gita to him, and Maitreya Muni. So this verse is how Maitreya entered the scene. And we often hear there is a big discussion, what's the cause of bhakti, or how can I progress in bhakti? So that will be very, very vividly, clearly, and easily portrayed in this part of the narrations, or narrations of Srimad Bhagavatam. So I just want to recite the 6th verse from the 2nd chapter, which says, Shanakar Bhagavan Lokan Nulokam Punaragataha Vimrujya Netra Vidiram Prityodvaha Usmaya. So I only facilitated discussion on this verse. This verse really helped me understand the scriptures, the subject matters of Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam. They're not just the words or some kind of information or anything, but actually it is the ecstasy of pure devotees. So from this verse I learned that uh, whatever Uddhava is talking, I was speaking to Vidura, or for that matter, any subject matter in the scripture, in this Srimad Bhagavad Purana or Bhagavad Gita and so on, they're from a different plane and they have a way different, way higher potency. So that's what Shanakayad Bhagavad Lokam no Lokam Punaragataha Vimrujya Netrudyaham Prityudvaha Usmayam. So with that, we'll enter into this verse of today's verse. It goes like Tasmin Mahabhagavato Dvaipayana Suhrusaka Lokan Anucharan Siddha Asa Sada Adruchaya. Tasmin, right at that point of time, Mahabhagavata, the great devotee. So this is my great devotee is referred to two personalities in this verse. That is to Dvaipayana, of Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa, and Maitreya Muni also. And then Suhrut, best friend, and Saka, friend, Suhrut, well-wisher and best friend. Lokan, Anucharan, Siddha. He was traveling the three worlds. Asasada, Yadruchaya. Somehow or other, Maitreya happened to come to the meeting place of or the discussion place that is happening when Krishna was talking to Uddhava. So again, Tasmin Mahabhagavato Dvaipayana Suhrusaka Lokan Ancharan Siddha Asa Sada Yadruchaya. Tasmin, then Mahabhagavataha, a great devotee of the Lord, Dvaipayana, of Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa, Surut, a well-wisher, Saka, a friend, Lokan, three worlds, Anucharan, traveling, Siddhe, in that ashram, Asasada, arrived, Yadruchaya, by his own perfect accord. At that time, after traveling in many parts of the world, Maitreya, a great devotee of the Lord and a friend and well-wisher of the great sage Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa, reached that spot out of his own perfect accord. Purport: Maitreya was one of the disciples of Maharshi Parasara, the father of Vyasadeva. Thus, Vyasadeva and Maitreya were friends and mutual well-wishers. By some fortunate accident, Maitreya reached the place where Lord Shri Krishna was resting. To meet the Lord is not an ordinary incident. Maitreya was a great sage and a learned scholar, philosopher, but not a pure devotee of the Lord. Therefore, his meeting with the Lord at that time may have been due to Ajnata Sukriti or some unknown devotional service. Pure devotees always engage in pure devotional activities, and therefore their meeting with the Lord is natural. But when those who are not up to that standard meet the Lord, it is due to unforeseen fortune of accidental devotional service. So, Uddhava, who is the greatest devotee outside of most intimate devotee outside of Vrindavan, he was speaking this verse to Vidura. He was telling, Tasmin At that time, Lokanicharan Siddha, he has been traveling. The translation Prabhupada says 3 worlds, and Prabhupada says, well, synonyms he says 3 worlds, and the translation is says many parts of the world. It's like I'm just adding my small thing. So it is like we also hear the soul is traversing in this world. That verse goes is Kona Bhagyavan Jiva. What's the beginning?
Brahmanda Brahmite Kona
Brahmanda
Bhagwan.
Brahmite. Thank you, Mataji. So the soul is really traveling Brahmanda Brahmite, going through many, many lives, all the places in this creation. Somehow or other becomes fortunate. Kona Bhagyavan Jiva. Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bija. Similarly, Maitreya Muni was traveling. Of course, Uddhava is telling he is a Mahabhagavata. But Prabhupada is telling he's not a pure devotee of the Lord. So that's going to get uncovered in the future verses. So he was traveling, and Asasada Yadruchaya, somehow or other, Yadruchaya is a famous word, which is often used in Bhakti circles. So, like, how Bhakti works, how do we get Bhakti, or how Bhakti works, and so on. So, Bhakti works independently of its own accord. One cannot force it by any endeavors in this world, by karma, by jnana, by yoga, and so on. But those activities can attract bhakti of bhakta. So that's what's happening here. He's really a great devotee, as Uddhava is telling, but not of the bhakti yoga. So he's a Mahabhagavata, and then somehow or other he comes to this meeting place of Krishna and Uddhava. And the what is about Maitreya Muni is also that he is also friend and well-wisher of Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa. Prabhupada explaining that he was the disciple of Vyasadeva's father, Parashar Muni. That way, both are contemporary, and there is a friendship, and then there's well-wishing of each other. Then Yadruchaya. So this meeting, this opportunity for Maitreya to meet Krishna and Uddhava, Krishna and Uddhava is not natural. I was remembering the grand festival we had this weekend. It's actually Yadruchaya for the personalities like me, because what other fortune can be, like there is a installation of Radha Krishna deities, and that too happening with 6 of the Prabhupada disciples, and 3 of them are sannyasis. What a fortune it is, somehow or other fortunate to be put up there, Yadruchaya again, or actually it is Ajnanshakriti, unknown devotion service, and much glory goes to Her Grace Premananda Mataji, our temple president, and very grateful for that great fortune. Yadruchaya, Lokancharan Siddha Asasada Yadruchaya. So this is the theme for the starting of the bhakti, and also for the progression of the bhakti. So here in this verse, Maitreya Muni, Prabhupada says he's not a pure devotee of the Lord. Then it's a great surprise for me how he was reciting almost 2 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. He is going to take over, or Uddhava is going to direct Vidura to Maitreya, and from the next chapter, actually the title of this chapter is Vidura approaches Maitreya, and from next chapter it's all Maitreya and Maitreya and Maitreya, and then even in the 4th canto also. So it is very inspiring how it happened. Now I will direct my little attention to Bhagavad Gita. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna was telling, many things to Arjuna. In the first 6 chapters, he started with saying, you are a soul. And then he says, everyone is a soul. He brought out this spiritual aspect and encouraged Arjuna, you have to fight. It's better to fight either by Jnana Yoga, seeing yourself as soul, or Karma Kanda, knowing that you want to gain victory in the battle, or best is Karma Yoga. More best is Nishkama Karma Yoga, Buddhi Yoga, he says, and then he explains it very nicely in 3, 4, 5, all these different yogas, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and even Ashtanga Yoga in the 6th chapter. And at the end, Krishna gives his declaration, in my opinion, Bhakti Yoga is the best. And in the 7th chapter, Krishna comes more direct, very fortunately. It is such a journey going through this study or a discussion. I was only appreciating when you're reading scripture, we have to be really attentive. Otherwise, of course, we are very much blessed and protected by Srila Prabhupada's guidance. Otherwise, you just lose the track just like that without anyone's knowledge. So Krishna, in the 7th chapter, after explaining all these yogas and bringing about the Bhakti Yoga, he says, out of all the best is the Shravanam, is the best one, he says. And he says in that context, let me explain to you. And this knowledge is not available or not known to anyone, quoting that out of many, many people who wants to attain perfection, a very rare soul gets to this perfection, gets access to this perfect knowledge. And it doesn't end there. Then he brings about the topic of 4 kinds of pious people who are like one wanting distress from free from distress, or wanting wealth, or wanting checking it out, Jijnashu, and then he comes to Jnani, who is wanting to know about Krishna. So the thing about the Jnani, it's been going, the Jnani basically applies to a spiritualist, and it's being referred to impersonal spiritualist and also personal spiritualist. So here in the 7th chapter, Krishna refers this Jnani to personal spiritualist, and he says even the Jnani, he comes to realize Krishna as Sarvamiti. It's only after many, many births. Bahunam Jnanamante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate. So here, Maitreya was a Jnani devotee, and he was a great sage or a great learned scholar, philosopher, but not a pure devotee of the Lord. And Krishna was telling there, Bahunam Jannamante. And here we are seeing like it's very immediate. Just he has finished the meeting and he was blessed to speak on whole 2 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. He has raised to such a level of devotion. So it's a very important theme and topic that's going on here. And next verse plays a vital role for this transformation. Basically, the transformation is that the association of the exposure to the loving exchange of Krishna with his devotees. So, yeah, that's my appreciation. As per the future chapters, Kapil Bhagavan was also telling clearly about Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. There also, he was making it a point. He takes many births to get to this bhakti. And Krishna also making the point. Even one comes to Krishna, and that too, Krishna claims that Jnana Yogi, who is coming for the knowledge about him, is the best. And he even says he is equal to me, he's like me. But that such a personality also comes to realize Vasudeva Sarvamiti only after many, many births. But we are very fortunately blessed with the mercy and the blessings of Srila Prabhupada. I think that's the reason we're also moving rapidly. Otherwise, we will also in the same boat, Bahunam Jannamante, to realize Krishna. Yeah. So we have to somehow or other take up this more of this accidental devotional services by offering or endeavoring to offer some services on behalf of Srila Prabhupada for his pleasure. And he will also bless us like how he blessed, how he has been blessing for us in the Nepal, by his presence, and especially the last weekend event, the loving exchange of Krishna to Premananda Mataji, our temple president, and the glory of it, that such a glorious association took place. Thank you all devotees. That's it for today's verse. Tasmin Mahabhagavato Dvaipayana Surusaka Lokan Anucharan Siddha Asasada Yadruche. At that time, after traveling in many parts of the world, Maitreya, a great devotee of the Lord and a friend and well-wisher of the great sage Krishna Dvaipayana Vasya, reached the spot out of his own perfect accord. Please share your inspirations and highlights, realizations.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada. Can you hear me, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for bringing that Yadruchaya good fortune. It's so sweet the way you are bringing the weekend into this world. I was thinking as you're speaking how Maitreya somehow or other ended up when the pure devotee is meeting Krishna. So as you're describing, the presence of all Maharajas and proper disciples and Premanand Mataji's, Krishna's reciprocation to them, somehow or other just hang around that place, where we are having we may not have that qualification to have that direct connection or reciprocation, so much love and dedication as they have. But just being around, just hanging around them, two things. As Maitreya got this wonderful opportunity, we may also be, getting the opportunity. And thank you for bringing that aspect of. He's not a pure devotee in terms of, in terms of bhakti, but just by his association with Srila Vyasadeva or Uddhava, or like however he ended up there. Krishna, or, the way it's arranged, that he actually played a very crucial role in transmitting the Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's very, very inspiring for me, as, I often go through this, I'm not qualified, I can't do any service like that. But it doesn't matter, as long as we are in the association of those devotees who are so inspired, and Krishna is Krishna and devotees may use even people like me, even without any qualification. They'll put the qualification in there and, use us in that service. So that was very beautiful and very, very inspiring and hope-giving. Thank you so much.
Yeah, actually, recently, like in the last 1 month or so, multiple devotees came to me asking that, whenever Prabhupada Maharaj comes, Guru Maharaj comes, and he always says, Amrita Keli, Govinda Mohini, and so on. I also want to be called like that. What should I do? How do I get there? So you're also inspiring other devotees, or the nice loving exchanges of Maharaj with you is also inspiring and encouraging devotees. So this is the path of bhakti.
Thank you, Prabhu. That's so sweet. Yeah, it's. I mean, as you were saying, right? What kind of qualification we have to even be there in the temple when all that was happening? I mean, the kirtans and Maharajas. I was like, kind of speechless. Like, how is it possible? That bhajan.
There is no other qualification is explained. That's a big discussion, right? In the Madhurya Kadambini. How did bhakti happen? Karma? I do so much karma. Could I get Krishna?
No.
Jnana? And mercy of Krishna? No. So, Ajnata Shukriti, accidental devotional act somehow or other, we are exposed to pure devotees and their loving exchange of Krishna with them. So,
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for your love for Bhagavatam and for somehow or other dragging us also into that ocean of love for Bhagavatam. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I was also thinking that was the big lesson I was getting. I was thinking, or many people are telling, that I run this book distribution service, but that also made clear that this weekend event, and it is Premananda's mother's devotion that Krishna was blessing some empowerment around, and something is wrapping on us, keeping us in the circle of devotional service. Yeah. Okay. At 4. Thank you, dear devotees, for gracious presence. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha krupasindubhyavacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Go Premanande.